Hello and welcome back to the Kettleers pregame show. Chris Albright, Connor Shue, and he's Camden Johnson. Ape, how is that?
Had 5 innings tonight, 5 straight innings, 4 strikeouts, and no walked batters. First of all, Peyton, tell me a little bit about that journey getting onto the mound today.
Like you said, no walks. That was probably the biggest thing I got out of that outing because I've been walking a lot of guys lately. But I just got ahead with all my pitches. Like I just command the fastball, both sides, just got ahead, so it allowed me to use my changeup more, my slider, and my curve. So, and then I got a lot of weak outs and a lot of ground balls, so that's was good.
And a big part of your journey tonight, you had fans in the stands, Peyton Manka jerseys. By far, your mother Amanda drove up today. Your grandfather John was also in the stands, yelling for every single pitch you threw tonight. What was it like having them here?
It's amazing just having them close to home because with being at Florida State, they can't obviously be down there for every outing, so they're always watching on TV. But with them being down here and close to home, I mean they're at every game now, so it's just awesome to have that fan base up here too.
Yeah, they told me a little bit that you call them when you find out that you're getting the start that night, and they come straight out from wherever they are in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear. Of course, you had a little bit of a rough start at Florida State. You had Tommy John surgery early on in your senior year, and then you come back and have your first season on the mound for the Seminoles this past season. So just walk me through, what was that like?
I was off the mound for like over 2 years, so that was definitely something I've experienced, like first time experience. I've never been hurt before, so that rehab process was a lot, and it was hard at times because like I couldn't pitch and stuff. So now just being healthy and competing with all these groups of guys, it's just awesome, and it's been fun. And I've not being able to play at Florida State and just watching and learning the game was definitely like a big experience, and I took advantage of that. So and now being able to play at my dream school at Florida State and just competing at a high level with everybody, it's just really fun.
Yeah. One last question for you. You kind of have that ACC connection between you and your catcher, Anderson French, with him at Virginia Tech. Has there been any like consistencies or anything that did you guys just connect the first time you met?
Yeah, like every time I get to a new team, I like connecting with my catchers because you like to be on the same page with them and just talk about like what you don't like, what you like what you want to work on. So I get a pretty good connection with the catchers right away, so we can like have a good game like that and just have fun.
All right. Well, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
no
your
problem.
time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Press, get some good swing. Press, get some good swings on. I mean, we started off
After a phenomenal game from the Cotuit Kettleers, 11-1 victory, and I'm here with the guy who set up a phenomenal grand slam, your first home run of the season, turning into that phenomenal moment for you. Just walk me.
Hello and welcome back to the broadcast. It's 1-0 Falmouth over the Cotuit Kettleers. Jaron Advincula due up to bat. Jaron Advincula stepping in after a 2-hit day last night against Hyannis. First pitch to Advincula from the right-hander Caden Eckerman. Committed to Kentucky out of northern Kentucky, so just moving across the state. Two-zero count. Eckerman dealing to Advincula. What does the rest of the lineup look like here for the Kettleers, Chris?
It'll be Advincula, West, Farber, Bogenpole, Wiggins, Johnson, Natilli, and then Stevens and French bringing up the rear.
Two one pitch fouled off of him.
Everyone in this lineup today, Connor, or at least reached base in the game against Hyannis. Or out of those that played in the game, the only two new faces, Jack Natilli and Nolan Stevens, they've been guys coming in and out of the lineup card, and they do solid as well whenever they get their opportunities.
Stevens, one of the walk leaders on the team. Jaron Advincula, swing and a miss on the outside breaking stuff. One down for Eckerman. Dean West, new Ket, been performing well in the maroon and white. Over a 300 average through just 3 games. Has a triple to his name, couple of walks. Squares to bunt, went foul. And he's mentioned in interviews that that's his favorite thing to do. Bunt and steal bases, loves the small ball aspect of the game.
That's the style of baseball that you'll see primarily out on the West Coast. It's a lot of fundamental baseball, both defensively and offensively. You really earn your bases when playing out west, and UCLA is no stranger to utilizing his bunting ability and his stolen base ability. West, one of the top players on the team in both marks, in both walks and stolen bases.
He was the leadoff man this year for the Bruins. 320 batting average at school. Well over a 470 on base percentage as well. Eckerman deals the 1-1. It's inside. 1-0 ball game. Falmouth up early. They're 7-7-1 this year. Second in the West Division. The Kettleers only a couple of games back. 2-1 count to West. Outside part of the plate. 3-1 West looking to be the first base runner for the Kettleers today. After West, it's Ryan Farber on deck. Caden Bogenpole in the hole. No shift for the infield on West, who cracks one high and deep into right field. Chasing it down is Morales and making the grab off to his right for the second out.
Well, Morales was twisting and turning, ended up slipping a little bit as that ball was coming down from its apex. Able to regather his footing, get underneath, and just make a catch. He made that catch look a lot better than a routine flyout, I'll tell you that.
Moved back, then moved to his right. Had quite the adventure to the baseball, we'll say that. Here comes Ryan Farber. Hitting just over 290 this summer, 361 on base percentage as well for the Auburn commit. 16 hits, 3 doubles. 6 runs driven in is tied for the team lead. He's really been, I think, the most consistent piece of this lineup. He's been hitting third almost every game for the Kets, and he hasn't missed one yet.
Well, he's also been consistent in his game. It makes a coach's job easy when you continue to do your job. Farber came into the Cape League without skipping a beat of his success at the college level. He reached base via hit the first 6 games of the season, and even when that hitting streak got broke, he did have a couple games of a bit of a skid, you could call it, and since then he's just bounced back. I mean, you'll see a multi-hit game more often than not from Ryan Farber.
Farber had 3 hits the other day against YD. Hits one hard on the ground, routine for the second baseman Royo, who makes the play to retire the side. 1-2-3 for Caden Eckerman to end the first frame. We'll be back in the top of 2 next.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Bottom of the order due up for Falmouth here in the top half of the second. Bear Harrison, Ben Royo, Chris Newstrom against Kenton Deverman, who allowed 1 unearned run in his first inning of work. It is 1-0 Falmouth up on the Cats at Lowell Park. Chris Albright, Connor Shue on the mics today for you. 1 count for Deverman, who, Chris, he has been really the most rock-solid pitcher overall in the Cats rotation.
He was the opening day arm for the Kettleers, able to get a good look at him early on in this season. And he's strung together some good starts since then. He has 11 2/3 innings pitched on the year, only 5 earned runs allowed, and that remains here today. Came into this game only 1 walk and 10 strikeouts. So he's got the consistency, he's got the arm, and to have a lefty starter does relieve a lot of weight from the bullpen because Cotuit's reliever arms primarily will be right-handed.
Socked high in the air, tailing towards the wall. But French makes the catch into the netting. What a grab by the first baseman.
Well, French has looked solid at first base in the time that he's played. We've seen him catch, we've seen him play first base, and he harnessed a bit of his catching ability there, crashing up into the netting. But he gets to the ball quick. It doesn't quite look it, but he'll get to the ball on a line. He doesn't take any unnecessary movement when tracking a fly ball over at first base like he did just then on that foul out.
Ben Royo steps in. He retired the final batter of the bottom half of the inning with an assist to first. Royo swinging it right-handed. Has been struggling at the Cape League level, hitting 111. A Texas A&M teammate with Bear Harrison, the man batting before him. 132 at-bats at school with the Aggies. 258 average, 10 home runs, 5 doubles. has the long ball in his pocket as a second baseman as he rips that one right back over the middle, showing some pop off that bat.
Well, the Commodores have been well timed on their hits off Kenton Deverman. That one just a screamer up the middle. And I mean right over the head of Kenton Deverman. That's how you know that bat was timed up perfectly with that baseball. Only the second hit allowed of the game for Deverman, but has had some trouble on the base paths, so looking to see how he'll buckle down here in the second inning.
Now he faces Chris Newstrom, a Tennessee Volunteer. Swinging it right-handed, he's playing left field today. Takes a first pitch strike. 0-1 count to him with runner on first, one down, 1-0 Falmouth here in the top of the second. Newstrom hit .351 and 57 at-bats at school this year. Smacks one foul. 5 home runs, 4 doubles. Not to mention 3 stolen bags. Nice all-around game shown in his limited time at the plate with the Orange. That pitch was low on 0-2. Newstrom going to get his bearings in his first time up. Up next is the leadoff hitter Carl Schmidt, who singled and came around to score. Newstrom looking for hit number 3 for the Falmouth Commodores. Coming off a 9-9 tie, ropes one into left field, back-to-back base knocks for the Doors.
Well, Newstrom hitting from the 9-hole, that's a position he's seen some in the lineup card this season, and it's a great slingshot into the top of the lineup card. You look at what Falmouth was able to do yesterday. 2 guys hit a home run. Carl Schmidt, who's the leadoff man, he's up right now, and Chris Newstrom, the 9-hole hitter. So the end caps of your lineup card able to bring that power. It's what you could call a continuous lineup card. There's no top, there's no bottom. Everyone's good.
Throw down to second. Both runners were back in time. Natilli hesitated a touch on the throw. Carl Schmidt has been probably the best contact bat this summer for Falmouth, hitting .319. Not to mention the one long ball. He's got 15 hits as well. Topper towards short. The flip to second. Throw down to first is in time. And the Kettleers double up the Commodores to exit the inning and get Deverman out of trouble. 1-0 ball game entering the bottom half of the second.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Four, 5, and 6 due up for the Kettleers. Caden Bogenpole, Andrew Wiggins, Camden Johnson facing off against Caden Eckerman. He went 1-2-3 in the first inning against a tough Kettleers lineup that's been on fire lately.
The Kettleers lineup has been whatever is above on fire, I would even say, Connor. I mean, they've been tearing the cover off the ball. You look at the offensive output, dating all the way back to that initial starting of this run win against Brewster just now over a week ago, the Ket's bats have been finding the baseball. In fact, in the past week, the Kettleers ranked top 3 in a lot of major offensive hitting categories as a team. They're top 3 in average, slugging, and on base.
Caden Bogenpole, one of the, I guess, starters of these runs. He had a 3-run homer in his first at-bat as a Kettleer in the second inning of the game against High YD. He walked 3 times against Hyannis. Did also walk twice against YD. This guy has been getting on base at a high clip, to say the least.
You can even call that a bit of a run starter in and of itself. Guys that can get on base consistently, even if it's not via a hit, just to create that added pressure on the base paths.
Chopper fell. It's 1-2. But Caden Bogenpole through 2 games, 2083 OPS, 333 average, a 750 on base percentage, and a 1333 slug. He's only taken 3 at-bats because he's been walking so much.
I mean, when you have a guy who's quickly approaching the Kettleers team lead in walks and he's only been here for under a week, that tells you how great his plate discipline is.
Swing and a tapper home foul. 1-2 count for Bogenpole. And pitchers don't get up on him too often. He's only been retired via the strikeout, and he had a ground ball out last night. Only 2 games for the 20-year-old center fielder Bogenpole. 6'6" out there. He's playing center today for the Kets. Moves like a gazelle out there.
6'6" tall gazelle.
2-2 incoming from Eckerman. Chopped right in our faces. 2-2 again. Sitting right behind home plate. Bogenpole with a hard foul ball. Eckerman hit 94 on that fastball. He can light up the radar gun a little bit as he spikes a curve.
No, he was a special pitcher at Northern Kentucky where he just wrapped up his season. Towards the end of the season, he was ranked top 10 nationally among qualified pitchers for strikeout percentage, the percentage of times he would strike out a batter.
Swing and a miss on the high breaking pitch, and you can see it right there. Eckerman's got one heck of an arsenal.
Well, he was striking out batters 36% of the time, so that's just about a third. You apply that to the game, that means 1 out of every 3 batters he faces, he'll strike out. So far today, he's faced 4 batters for Cotuit. He's struck out 2 of them. So he pounds the zone, and he'll generate those swinging strikes.
It's safe to say he tore up the Horizon League in his 3 years at Northern Kentucky. Earned run average dipped every single year, started at a 628. He had a 434 this past season. 56 innings pitched, 87 strikeouts, good for a 14 K per 9 mark. Here's the pitch to Andrew Wiggins, a strike. Wiggins had his first extra base hit yesterday, and it was a grand slam. Put the Kets up 11-1 or 10-1 at that point. In the late innings of that game was pretty much the nail in the coffin. He had 4 homers at Indiana at school. And he's really, the thing he's been doing well for the Kettleers is walking. 12 leads the team. Hasn't worked one in the past couple of games, but you can sense one coming soon. Nice pitch, middle with the slider, 2-2.
Well, maybe not when Eckerman's pitching, but when Wiggins is able to work those bases on balls, it unlocks a whole new part of his game as well, which is the speed on the base paths.
The righty hurls in a ball. 3-2. Wiggins has worked another full count on Eckerman. It's 27 pitches deep. Recorded 4 outs to start this one. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ekman.
Now the righties continuing to break pitches in on these left-handed hitters for Cotuit. There's a lot of them in this lineup card. Only one true righty and Jack Natilli, who is on deck, and Ryan Farber, a switch hitter. But the way that Ekman's able to get this ball tailing into the strike zone is just messing with the Cotuit hitters right now.
Cam Johnson steps in the left-handed batter's box. 2-hit day yesterday for him. Third baseman pops one foul. On his way to becoming a Sooner by way of the Shockers of Wichita State. Former school of headman Lauren Hibbs as well. Played there for 4 years and coached there some. Hits the backstop. Hibbs was the American Conference Coach of the Year his last year as a head coach in college, and now he's found his way to the summer ball realm.
Hibbs has been around college baseball for quite some time. Over 20 years as a college coach, amassing well over 600 career college wins.
Johnson flares one, foul. Newstrom won't have time to get to it. And Hibbs has done a good job of turning the team around after a tough start to the 2025 season.
I say well over 600. I should have bumped it up a couple hundred. He's well over 800 wins. In fact, his head coaching record at college, 850 wins racked up.
Good bulk of that at Charlotte, where he spent almost 30 years as the manager. It's pretty impressive. One of the more storied mid-major coaching careers in recent history in all of college baseball. Led them to a good handful of NCAA tournament appearances. Swing and a tapper foul off the top of the bat. And Hibbs coached through, I think it was 3 different conferences with Charlotte, and was able to see himself to the top of the ranks almost year in and year out, regardless of conference.
Consistency. That's what Lauren Hibbs was able to show at Charlotte, no matter the decade or no matter the conference.
2-2. Skips in there. Johnson has worked another 3-2 count. Ekman's been in one with every batter, and he struck out the first 2, at least in this inning. We got a chance to chat with Johnson before the game about his favorite spots to eat in his first summer on Cape. The Coop was the choice, and I don't think anyone can go wrong here. Flared foul. Heck, I had myself some Coop before the game.
I don't think you got his order, though.
The BLT?
Capital B, lowercase LT, he said. He piles it in with the crispy bacon.
I respect it. I'm a bacon man myself, so I think a lot of people are. It's a popular food item. 3-2 is high. First base runner against Ekman is Johnson with a free pass.
Johnson does exhibit great plate discipline. He's been on a tear as of recent, especially in the hitting department, but you look at what he's able to do. He's also able to work some walks. That's now his 7th of the season.
It's near the top half of the Kettleers in terms of the walks. In steps Jack Natilli.
Ranks 4th on the Kettleers.
Natilli more of a free swinger than Johnson. Double-digit strikeouts to 4 walks this summer. But you can tell he's been turning it around at the plate lately. A couple of games ago, he had 2 hits and hit a double against Brewster his last time out. Got a couple games of break. Chops one, foul. Stayed fair for a moment. He did play in the game against YD, scored a run and worked a walk. Was hitless, though. But it was fine. The rest of the lineup really picked that one up.
He really did. A lot of consistent threats in Cotuit's lineup card, whether you look at the top third, middle third, or even bottom third.
Righty-righty matchup. Natilli hitting with 2 down. Runner on first. Socks one through the hole between short and third. A base hit for Jack Natilli.
All Cotuit needed to do was see their first man on base, and then once you see it, you can really believe it, you can say. So Natilli able to get the Kettleers into the hitting department.
Couple of 2-out base runners for Cotuit. Nolan Stevens steps in. Got a day off yesterday. He's back in right field. Has a strong power bat to the pull side, just hasn't had too much opportunity to show it off. There's been a lot of hard singles and tagged lineouts, but still searching for the elusive first extra base hit. He gears up for the 1-1. Eckerman checking second, fires home. That's a ball. Stevens, like Johnson, committed to Oklahoma. Coming in from Mississippi State. High chopper towards first, easily playable and flipped to the pitcher by Kent Schmidt. In time, retires the side, leaves 2 Kettleers on. It's 1-0 Falmouth entering the top of the third.
Dream it. If you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Ken Deverman out there for his third frame against the Falmouth Commodores. He faces 2, 3, and 4. Antonio Morales, Adrian Lopez, and Micah New. Morales, a ground out his first time up. Deverman has fared much better since the first inning. Allowed a leadoff single and an unearned run, frankly. On the E4, Kent Schmidt reached on that. Allowed a couple hits in the second, but induced a double play ball to get out of it.
It needed significantly less pitches to get through his second inning as well. Deverman threw 25 in the first, was able to knock it down to 14 in the second.
You'll take 14. An economical frame. First pitch strike to Antonio Morales. Played at Wake Forest this past year. 233 average and 86 at-bats. Played in the New England Collegiate League last summer with North Adams. Similar production to his time at Wake Forest.
Recently committed to the University of Maryland.
Headed to a solid Big Ten program. They've seen some success in recent years.
He'll be a dirty Terp, right?
He will.
That's what they call the baseball
The dirty
players
Terps
out there.
Recent major leaguers include Matt Shaw, who's doing it for the Cubs right now at third base. He's really the guy who stands out when you think of recent Maryland baseball players. He tore apart the Big Ten. First round draft pick as well.
Well, it gets Morales a little bit closer to what he maybe once called home. Listed as his birthplace is Boston, Massachusetts. So the New England area, a bit in his blood.
Makes sense why he was in the NECL last summer and why he's in the Cape now. Local kid. And he's having a nice summer. 292 average. Double and a triple in 48 at-bats. He's getting the work he was looking for at school right now. The 2-2. Swung on tapped. Fouled behind him. Morales manning right field today. The Doors looking to get above 500. They're 7-7-1. And they've really struggled against the West Division, 2-3 so far this summer. That was just a touch high. Or no, they'll ring him up on strikes. Kenton Deverman's first K of the day.
That one was a strikeout looking. Deverman won't use it. Well, he won't throw strikeouts all that frequently. He averages less than one per inning, but when the strikeouts start to roll for Deverman, typically more will follow. We've seen him, especially later in his outings, put together those strikeouts, and it's after he works that contact pitching for the first couple of innings.
If he gives stuff up in a game as that's tagged out to left center field, Bogenpol ranges to his right for the catch. 2 down. He'll give up runs early on, and like you said, he'll buckle down as the start continues.
He's got great resilience out on the mound, a true baseball mindset, you could say. He really works batter to batter, pitch to pitch. In our short time that we've been able to see him this summer, it's great, his mindset. He doesn't let past innings affect him.
Bunt popped foul. And you're exactly right. Last time Deverman pitched was against YD. That was roughly a week ago. And he was really solid. Did allow 4 hits, but he struck out 4 in 5. And only allowed 1 run to score. And granted, that was in his final frame. He pitched into the 6th, but he gave up a run and a couple of base runners before recording it out, so they pulled him there. But he allowed a couple of base runners in the first inning. Really good pitcher. Deverman, the 0-2. Here it comes. High tapper towards third, charging and throwing is Johnson in time for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for Deverman in the top half of the third. 1-0 Falmouth. Low-scoring game here at Lowell Park.
When we see our patient, our philosophy is to not just take care of the isolated pathology or problem that they're here for. We look at the care of a patient as the whole patient, how they hold hands with a spouse or partner, how they engage with their children or grandchildren. These are important things in the equation of how we decide optimal treatment for patients, whether that's non-operative or operative intervention. Every patient gets treated as a family member or as a pro athlete in our mind. We provide concierge level of care. That's how we want it done for our own, and that's what we continue to do here in the greater Boston area.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Bottom half of the third, Ket's up to bat against Caden Eckerman, who showed cracks in the armor in the second, but is still shoving. 3 strikeouts, 2 base runners through 2 complete.
Well, after he surrendered a walk and a hit, able to induce a ground ball to first base, work himself out of some trouble. Fresh slate this inning.
Anderson French leads off the frame, his first time batting today. He's in the 9-hole just like yesterday. Then it's Jaron Advincula, Dean West, 1 and 2. French was good in the 9-hole yesterday. Couple of base hits, he went 2 for 4. Hits one high in the air, staying on the infield on the left side. It's playable for the shortstop Lopez, 1 down. Now it's Jaron Advincula, struck out swinging last time up. Hit his second double of the season yesterday in a 2 for 3 performance. Part of that Kettleers ambush. Still waiting to see the bats wake up today, but if the past couple of games are any indication, we could see these guys get hot any minute now.
It's not an if, it's a win. We've said it throughout the season, and the point does still remain.
Out of qualified batters, Advincula leads the Kettleers in batting average with a .314 mark. 16 hits, pair of doubles, 9 stolen bags. One of the top marks in the league and the best on the Kets. Hit over .340 at Cal this past year. That's tagged foul. Just drifted past the right field foul line.
Well, to talk about this recent offensive success for Cotuit, just in the past 2 games, 19 runs, 19 hits, 17 walks drawn, 8 extra base hits, which all equals up to 2 wins.
Undefeated in the month of July, looking to keep it that way. They're 5-9-1 on the young season. Well, young might be the wrong word. We're reaching the halfway point. This is game 16. Eckerman fires. That is strike 2. Advincula looking to get on to pass the bat along to Dean West, who's on deck. The 2-2. Looping curve is high. Full count. Sun still shining here at Lowell Park, tucked behind the stadium. Some larger clouds looming. Outside, ball 4. Jaron Advincula works walk number 5 this year.
Now, it's great to see Advincula working the walks. His freshman year at Cal, really able to do a good job in the walk to strikeout ratio. Did take a bit of a hit his sophomore season where he did have a lot more strikeouts than walks, nearly 2-fold. So for him to keep that number similar here on Cape is a big growth in his game.
Dean West steps in, the left-handed swinging designated hitter today. He played center yesterday. He's a natural left fielder, though. Played that in every single game this year for UCLA, all 66. The only other position he's played is center field, 3 games as a freshman at UCLA. High and inside, 1-1. West did play 30 games as center field before he came to school at Bellingham in the West Coast League, Summer Ball League. Out west, of course. Advincula, a short lead on first, not afraid to run. Curveball stayed outside, 2-1.
Advincula leads the Kettleers in steals. He's very fleet of foot out on the base paths, and he's very smart as well.
He's running for Dean West, who takes a strike on the inner half. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Bruin leadoff hitter. A lot more good baseball in his future. 49 walks to 29 strikeouts at school this year for West. Impeccable plate discipline. And great take on that pitch. Nearly looped onto the plate, but hung in there. It's 3-2. Kets have Eckerman up to 54 pitches. Hasn't allowed a run, but he's needed a lot of throws to make it happen. He almost got Advincula at first. He'll stay there. It's 3-2. And with college pitch counts, Ekman might not have that much longer on his leash. That's hit foul, and Dean West continues to wear him down.
Ekman started this game only needing 14 pitches to get through the first inning. Cotuit was able to run up that pitch count in the second. Ekman nearly sitting at 30 pitches in that inning. So at the minimum, West here, along with this top of the Cotuit lineup card, just trying to continue to drive up that pitch count.
Hit back up the middle, past the shortstop Lopez. A one-out hit for Dean West, 2 on.
That's what Advincula and West are both able to do. These two, all players are on-base machines. I mean, you look at what they're able to put out both at college and here. I mean, Advincula at Cal, his on-base percentage was well above 400 each of those seasons. West with similar numbers at UCLA. These two guys know how to get on base.
Ryan Farber, another on-base machine, entering the left-handed batter's box, the switch hitter. Farber from Texas State to Auburn next year. 361 on base percentage this summer. Farber, a good contact bat. Hit 340 as a freshman as a Bobcat. Down to 267 this past year, but he raised the stolen base totals from 8 to 17. Here's the pitch. 1-1. Ekman nearing that 60 pitch mark. No action over in the Falmouth bullpen. Kettleers side quiet as well, with Deverman spinning a nice outing. Looking for some run support. Kettleers still have yet to score. Looping curveball is in there, 1-2. I think that's been Ekman's best pitch so far today.
When he's able to get a good grip on it and really get that rotation speed up, it's able to break into the zone. We've seen him leave it high a couple of times today, but when he gets it to spin, it's beautiful.
Spun a couple of called strikes in there. That's a high pitch, and Advincula was dancing around at second. It took Ekman's attention away from home for a moment. The shortstop Lopez was calling for the throw back, but Ekman just wanted to go home. Here it comes. Up and away. 3-2. Farber with some big league takes on 2 strikes. I think that's been a common phrase in the booth here. A lot of big league takes for these Cotuit batters. They've been really improving the approach lately. Here it comes. Chopped foul.
When we say a big league take, that's a type of pitch that you'll see guys in Major League Baseball or guys that are able to play at that level take. You don't give a free swing on a pitch that's just outside the zone. You're really patient at your approach, and that skill translates well to the big leagues.
Throw back to second. Advincula, real short dive back. Ryan Farber in the box. Hit an RBI double yesterday. He's got 3 on the season. And it was hit perfectly. It sailed down the left field line and nearly tailed foul. Just got down, and he had the foot speed to chug into second. Rips one over the head of the second baseman. It gets down. Advincula sprinting around third. He gets the wave home, and the Kettleers even this one up at 1 with the Ryan Farber RBI single.
That's what this top third of this lineup can do for Cotuit. Advincula gets on base, West gets on base, and then Ryan Farber, who has had a great contact bat this summer, just able to line one into the right center field gap. Advincula was all wheels heading around third, and it was pretty cool to see. Just as he got close to home plate, just lengthened his strides, was gliding through the air to score the Kettleers' first run of this ball game.
Ryan Farber, a team-leading 7 runs driven in now. And Jaron Advincula tied for the team lead in runs with 9, and Ryan Farber tied with at 9.
Lots of guys that can hit on this Cotuit lineup.
Todd Carroll, the first-year pitching coach with Falmouth, out there having a little chat with the infield and Ekman. So this is probably the last thing that Falmouth wanted to see. Caden Bogenpole stepping in against a righty with runners on the corners and only 1 out.
Well, he's not a bat that you really want to pitch to, but with only 1 out and runners on the corners, there's not much you can really do except attack him head on.
You could walk him with a base open. Just get Farber over to second and then hope for a double play.
Well, the man on deck, Andrew Wiggins, had himself a grand slam yesterday.
So that might not be the smartest move, frankly, but you never know what they're thinking over there. Or I guess what Jared Saltalamacchia, the manager of the Falmouth Commodores, is thinking, and I'm sure that name sounds familiar to many people from the area here.
Salty.
Former longtime Red Sox catcher. He's taking his talents to summer ball in the dugout. And you know, he was a catcher, so I think that continues a storied pipeline of catchers becoming managers. That's probably the #1 position in terms of that, is that's tagged foul. 1 and 2.
Well, Salty has been an assistant coach here on Cape for a couple seasons now, the head man role for Falmouth. Always fun to see these big names. I know we've seen Dennis Cook, who's now managing Chatham. A couple of big league guys.
That was right down the middle. Called strike 3. Ekman's had Bogenpole's number. Pair of strikeouts on him today.
Well, Ekman's been able to throw strikes, and especially towards this middle part of Cotuit's lineup, Bogenpole and Wiggins both down on strikes their first time up.
There's an arm warming over in the Falmouth bullpen. Ekman, this might be his last frame. He faces off against Andrew Wiggins. Runners on the corners, 2 down. A 1 count after the Bogenpole strikeout. The man in the pen, Zach Johnston, lefty from Wake Forest. I'm sure they want to go in that direction against the lefty-heavy Kettleer lineup.
Didn't even let me use my binoculars. Got too good of eyes out there.
He's making it easy. He's a lefty, so he's got the jersey turned in our direction. You can see that 25. Throw back to first. Farber scampered over there. Still a 1-1 count to Wiggins. You said it earlier, a grand slam yesterday. Cannot miss to him right now. He did strike out his first time up. Upstairs. And he's going to take everything around the zone too, so you kind of have to attack Wiggins. No way around it. Great plate discipline, 450 on base percentage as a Hoosier. Outside corner, strike 2. Outfield mate a year ago with former Kettleer Devin Taylor. Cape League All-Star and probable first-round draft pick. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Ekman gets out of it with a pair of strikeouts, but the Kettleers tie it up at 1. And we're going to give up the second headset to the third member of our team, Brooke Kilgore, here as we go into the bottom of the third. Brooke?
Guys, the 4th of July is right around the corner, and Cotuit is gearing up for a full day of events. Event coordinator Ashley Young says the team, including players, will participate in a parade sponsored by Cotuit-Santuit Civic Association, which begins at 11 a.m. on the 4th. Starts at the Cotuit Post Office on School Street and takes a left on the main street before continuing north until the Cotuit School Building. The parade will finish at Lowell Park, where the Kettleers will host a family fun day from noon to 2. Kids can enjoy face painting, games, and other activities alongside their favorite Ketts players. Chris and Connor, back to you.
Thank you, Brooke. We're going to take a quick break going into the top of the 4th here at Lowell Park. 1-1 ball game here at Lowell.
Hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
When we see our patient, our philosophy is to not just take care of the isolated pathology or problem that they're here for. We look at the care of a patient as the whole patient, how they hold hands with a spouse or partner, how they engage with their children or grandchildren. These are important things in the equation of how we decide optimal treatment for patients, whether that's non-operative or operative intervention. Every patient gets treated as a family member or as a pro athlete in our mind. We provide concierge level of care. That's how we want it done for our own, and that's what we continue to do here in the greater Boston area.
Kenton Deverman retakes the mound. First pitch to Kent Schmidt is a ball. Then it's Justin Osterhaus and Bear Harrison for the Falmouth Commodores. They're batting 5th, 6th, and 7th. Deverman's got a tie ball game now, 1-1. Ryan Farber brought home Jaron Advincula in an RBI single in the bottom half of the 3rd. Schmidt looking for his first hit of this fine Thursday afternoon, the day before the 4th. Crowd has filled out. The first base line grandstand has filled as well. Good handful of people hanging out behind the scoreboard out in left center. And all the way down the left side of the outfield wall. Plenty of chairs lining that area.
It's where all the shade is.
The 3-1. Ripped on the ground. Advincula dives but can't quite get there. Schmidt's on with a hit.
Vincula's been kept busy over at second base. These Commodore bats not afraid to go right side of the infield.
Here comes Justin Osterhaus on his way to Bama in the transfer portal. And that's just a common theme of college athletics these days. We could talk about it in higher detail, but you've probably heard about it enough. Osterhaus, 278 batting average this summer, 10 hits and a double. Previously at Purdue, Fort Wayne. Branch campus of Purdue University over in West Lafayette. Fort Wayne, though, a Division I program in the Horizon League. And he hit .328 there this past spring. 16 long balls, 10 doubles. Making quite the jump. And that's no disrespect to the Horizon League, some fine programs. And we've seen the Horizon take on the SEC and extend into victory. They beat Wright State, got Vanderbilt in the regional this year. I think I've mentioned that 4 or 5 times in the broadcast already. I don't mind saying it.
It's a good upset.
Wright State's definitely a team they stay on my radar pretty often as an Ohio guy. A little south, but they fly the flag of the state.
That they do. Is it in Wright, Ohio? Maybe this is my Ohio geography. Is there a Wright?
There is not. It is by Dayton.
Oh, so Dayton, the University of Dayton Flyers, Wright State Raiders, a couple of aviation-themed names.
That's right. Down there in a similar area. Southwest Ohio. Not far from Cincinnati either. Tag not in time by French. Wright State. Good baseball program. Purdue Fort Wayne, not too bad themselves. Upstairs, and, well, the Mastodons of PFW did not fare too well this year. They were 11-42, so gonna pocket that one.
Uh-oh.
Here comes the 3-2. That's ripped into right field over the head of Advincula. A base knock for the former Mastodon Osterhaus.
Yeah, it's a good bounce-back inning from Falmouth, who were victims of a 3-up, 3-down inning worked by Deverman. And Kenton, we've said it before today, a contact pitcher. When that contact begins to find green grass and get down for base hits, that's typically when you want to have a talk with him, and that's what Tim O'Connor is doing.
The pitching coach is out there to talk with Deverman, and they're going to bring in a reliever. Wow. Top of the fourth inning, new pitcher incoming for the Kettleers. We'll introduce him and more soon. 1-1 ball game here on Cape League TV.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Wyatt Halverson's the new man on the mound for the Kettleers. He has been really good in the Cotuit jersey so far this summer, Chris.
He has been, and he's been a consistent arm out of the bullpen. This will be his 6th appearance for the Kettleers, all in relief. He's already worked 10 2/3 innings, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, only 2 of those earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 10. All that works itself out to a 1.69 ERA. And he was especially shining in his last outing for the Kettleers. That happened just a couple games ago. It was against Brewster. It was a 3-2 loss, but Halverson was able to work 2 1/3 innings of relief, only surrendering 1 hit. Walked none and struck out 2.
He faces off against a right-handed swinging catcher, Bear Harrison. We had Stone Lawless last night for Hyannis, their catcher, and Bear Harrison, back-to-back great catcher names.
Stone Lawless, Bear Harrison.
Love it. Bears batting with no outs and 2 runners on. Hard tapper to third. Johnson to Advincula to French in time to double up Falmouth. 2 down, just like that.
Oh, Halverson able to get out of some trouble early, thanks in part to the infield from Cotuit. Everyone knowing the places that they needed to be at a very routine and clean 5-4-3 double play.
A runner's on third now. That's Kent Schmidt, but at the cost of 2 runners. Ben Royo steps in. the Aggie. That one's to first base in time. Retires the side, so with just a couple of pitches, Wyatt Halverson gets out of the jam. A very quick 1-2-3 for Halvey, the righty from Arizona State. It's 1-1, all tied up going into the bottom of the fourth.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Camden Johnson, Jack Natilli, Nolan Stevens, 6 through 8 due up for the Kettleers against Caden Eckerman after Wyatt Halverson got 3 batters out with 2 pitches.
Yeah, very effective call to the bullpen. Was able to induce a ground ball, his first pitch, and then almost 15 or so seconds later, we're barely looking up from our scorecards, and he induced another ground ball right to Camden Johnson.
Efficient. That's how you like it, and Halverson's got a sub-2 ERA for good reason this summer. His stuff plays. As does Eckerman's, who's through 3 one-run frames. He has been throwing a lot of pitches, though. That was his 73rd to start off the fourth here.
Well, he finished with 30 pitches in the 3rd inning. That was a few higher than his 2nd inning, where he was already high. So this pitch count definitely getting extended up.
The lefty Zach Johnston was warming over in the pen earlier. Looks like there's a new arm in there. I think that's Matthew Dallas, another Wake Forest Demon Deacon.
I was thinking TJ Coates with the 2-3. I might trust your eyes. I mean, I couldn't get the first one.
Dallas is 32. I think you might be right. If that's 2-3, it's TJ Coates from Nebraska. If it's 3-2, it's Matthew Dallas. We should just wait till they come out of the mound.
We got the digits.
4-pitch walk for Camden Johnson. Back-to-back free passes for the Sooner.
Well, he's got a very patient approach, and that's paired alongside some good pop. So when you're able to mix those two things, you're either getting on base via a hit or getting on base via a walk, and Johnson does a good job of getting both.
First leadoff base runner of the day for the Kettleers is Johnson. Here's Jack Natilli. Waving the bat over that right shoulder, the right-handed swinging catcher smacks one out into left center field, but not deep. And New had the catch for out number 1. Man, off the bat, I thought that one was out of there.
Yeah, it got knocked down in a hurry. It sounded great and had a good trajectory. He got a little bit underneath it, got some backspin on that baseball.
Now it's Nolan Stevens, a ground out to first, back in the 2nd inning. Pitch is inside, a strike to Stevens. .213 average on the season. I think the main thing you think about in his game is the arm in right field has thrown out a couple of base runners already this summer. Here's the 0-1. It's low. Ekman looks at second, regardless if there's a runner or not, before every pitch. An interesting quirk on the mound for the righty. Not that time. Chopped past the pitcher, Ekman, flip to short, and to first in time for a double play. 3 up, 3 down the hard way. For Caden Ekman, gets out of the fourth, remains a 1-1 ball game. Top of the fifth up next on Cape League TV.
Dream it. If you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Knotted up at 1 apiece. Here in the top of the fifth, Wyatt Halverson, his second inning of work. He threw only 2 pitches to retire the side after Kenton Deverman left the game with 2 runners on.
Well, when you're averaging 1 pitch for every batter you face, that's a pretty good sign. Halverson has been such a reliable arm out of the bullpen as well for Cotuit. So even if, he's not averaging 1 pitch a batter, which more likely than not won't happen, he's still able to do a good job.
Less than a pitch a batter. 2 to retire 3.
Oh, you're right.
I'm just waiting for someone to inherit a bases loaded situation and induce a triple play on the first pitch. Wouldn't that be something? Chris Newstrom steps in. And it's Carl Schmidt and Antonio Morales, 9-1-2. Newstrom singled his last time up, got caught in the base paths in a double play. 1-0 count to Newstrom, the Tennessee Volunteer. No swing. Pitch was off the corner from Halverson. Look for the outer corner with that slightly cut fastball. Halverson, the 2-0. Outside once again. Swingman at Arizona State. Punches a lot of tickets. Over 13 Ks per night in his 2 years as a Sun Devil. Ball 4. Chris Newstrom gets on base with 4 pitches.
Second time he's reached base today. First time was via hit. This time a walk.
Now it's Carl Schmidt, former teammates with Jaron Advincula and PJ Moutsouridis, the now former Kettleer. Just left yesterday. He's our last guest in the booth here as well.
That he was.
Had fun talking to him up here, as we did with Joe Pratt, former Kettleers broadcaster, our first on-air guest. Who knows who number 3 will be?
We'll take suggestions.
We've gotten some questions from some fellow interns. Popped high on the infield. It's tailing towards the dugout. It sails out of play. Potentially one of our photographers here, Finn Murphy. He might don the headset soon. Jaden Marine, Swiss Army knife, social media, videography photography guy as well. Couple of candidates. Maybe Brooke Kilgore, our sideline reporter, puts on the headset and does some play-by-play. You never know. Big swing and a miss from Carl Schmidt. Great pitch on the outer corner from Halverson. And that sideline to play-by-play connection has happened previously for the Kettleers. Riley Pay, here, 4 or 5 years ago, was initially a sideline voice and got a lot of time in the booth. And you blink and all of a sudden she's doing play-by-play for the AAA Tacoma Mariners.
Tacoma Rainiers.
Oh, no. Oh,
You're
my
good,
gosh.
That they're affiliated with the Mariners.
I knew that. And, it's a close name. Throw down to first, not in time, but a strikeout for Halverson, 1 down. But, oh, no. Sorry, Riley. Jeez. Hope you're not listening right now. Would be bad timing.
You got same state. I mean, Tacoma's right near Seattle. Oh, yeah, she had a very successful path there. Was a former voice for the Portland Sea Dogs up in Maine, an Eastern League AA team close by. So a lot of former voices for the Kettleers, even if they weren't doing play-by-play, continuing to make an impact.
Sure do. They're all throughout the minor league system. Tyler Danberg with the Frisco Rough Riders in AA down in Texas. Joe Pratt, New Hampshire, the Fisher Cats. Throw down in time. Got him on the hand. Filthy pickoff move from Newstrom, but he's putting his hands in the air. The third base umpire says he's safe. That's Jim Fonseca. Or no, he's going to say it's a balk, and he's going to second. Here comes Lauren Hibbs out of the dugout. He wants to know what happened. Hands up, and he can't believe it. Someone get a mic out in the field. Would love to hear this explanation from Fonseca, as it looked like that was a successful pickoff move from Halverson, but they say he balked.
Well, it would either have to be a balk or an illegal pickoff move. Just said that, so Lauren Hibbs just confirmed as he was saying some pleasantries to the home plate umpire, Jake Brickta, that it was a balk, but it was an unorthodox balk call.
Based on his words, he can't really believe it. And time called by the home plate umpire, Jake Brickta. So it's only 1 out. Newstrom on second. At least from my angle, it looked like Halverson made the full turn to throw. Because you're not supposed to face home when you're offering back to first. But the third base umpire, Jim Fonseca, thought differently, because Mickey Garcia at first made the initial out call, and then it was overturned. That's a ball to Antonio Morales, who's in a 1-1 count. 1 run for each team, 5 hits for Falmouth, 3 for Cotuit. Errorless baseball for the Commodores, 1 for the Kettleers. Here in the top half of the 5th. Up and away, just out of the zone. Halverson retakes the hill. Morales, the right fielder, swinging it left-handed. Looking to move the runner at second. Swing and a miss. Got him on that heater outside, and Halverson doesn't touch much higher than 93, but he doesn't really need to. 6'3" on the mound. He extends far, and the fastball plays a little quicker. Oh, strike 3 called, and I think that's a pitch clock violation on the hitter.
It was not set in the box. The hitter has to be ready by 8 seconds and making eye contact with the pitcher, Halverson, and that was not the case. So a couple of very unorthodox, very irregular calls in these past couple of minutes here at Lowell Park.
We'll see if that counts as a strikeout for Wyatt Halverson. Yeah.
It will.
We'll say that's a strikeout looking. That's how I'll score it. I think it's only fair. Got to pay attention to that pitch clock if you're in the box. Looping strike one to Adrian Lopez. Some groans from the Falmouth dugout. Oh, one, and you said it, Chris, just a really odd inning. Halverson fires home, runner goes. That's hit high in the air. Out to shallow right, coming into play, it is Stevens for out number 3. Cotuit gets out of it, stays 1-1, and I'll pass off the play-by-play duties to my partner, Chris Albright, for the bottom half of the 5th and the rest of this ball game here on Cape League TV.
When we see our patient, our philosophy is to not just take care of the isolated pathology or problem that they're here for. We look at the care of a patient as the whole patient, how they hold hands with a spouse or partner, how they engage with their children or grandchildren. These are important things in the equation of how we decide optimal treatment for patients, whether that's non-operative or operative intervention. Every patient gets treated as a family member or as a pro athlete in our mind. We provide concierge level of care. That's how we want it done for our own, and that's what we continue to do here in the greater Boston area.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
July 3rd, one day before Independence Day, here at Lowell Park. Plenty of Americana in the stands, getting ready for the holiday season here. Chris Albright joined alongside Connor Shue here on Cape League TV and the Kettleers Digital Network. There's a new pitcher out on the mound for Falmouth. Caden Eckerman's day is done after 4 complete innings. The new arm, TJ Coates, 6'3", 220. Out of Las Vegas, Nevada. His first pitch is upstairs to Anderson French. Coates wrapped up his season at Nebraska and currently sits inside the transfer portal. A consistent arm out of this Commodores rotation. He's thrown 12 innings already in 3 games. 2 of those were starts. Only allowed 5 earned runs. He has walked 6, and he's struck out 17. He delivers a 4-pitch walk to Anderson French, who has reached base for the first time today.
French has been getting on base a lot over the past few games, and gotta love his production in the 9-hole for the Kettleers since he's moved there. It seems like Andrew Wiggins, the former consistent 9-hole guy, has found a spot in the 5-hole. And now Anderson French showing a lot of good hitting and good plate discipline. 2 hits yesterday, now a walk today in the 9-hole. Not bad.
The leadoff man, Jaron Vincula, now up for the Kettleers. Coates testing the lead of French over at first with a pickoff attempt. The walk issued to French, the 4th of the day by Falmouth pitching. In the game yesterday, the Commodores pitching staff racked up 10 strikeouts to only 4 walks. They've matched that walk total here today. It's only the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 the count on Avincula. First strike of the afternoon thrown by TJ Coates, count even at 1. Still 1-1 the score here. It's been a quiet game, a lot of zeros on the scoreboard. Cracked on the ground foul. Only 8 hits combined by these two programs that came into this game raking offensively. Cotuit yesterday against Hyannis, 11 hits. The Commodores yesterday in a 9-9 tie against YD, racking up 12 hits. And there's a strikeout swinging from Jaron Advincula.
Second strikeout of the day for Advincula. He's been chasing a lot today. Did walk his second time up and scored, but it's been up and down. He's still having a really nice summer, but it's so hard to follow up his 2024 when he won the batting title, nearly hitting 400.
And he was consistently hovering around 400, it seemed, the entire season. First offering to West, sliced foul, and out of play into a large gathering of fans tucked behind some trees down the left field line past the grandstand. There's a couple picnic tables, large grassy berm behind the netting, and it is packed with lawn chairs, blankets. Showing bunt, West able to get a piece of it, but it's fouled behind the plate. The picnic tables all filled up. Beautiful spot to watch the ball game. .76 degrees here in Cotuit. Just a beautiful night for baseball. Wind swirling out to center. Pickoff attempt to first is not in time. Dean West today, he's 1 for 2. He singled in the third, flew out to right field in the first. 0-2 the count to West here with 1 out. The pitch. 2-2. Swing and a miss from Dean West. Back-to-back strikeout swinging thrown by TJ Coates. Settling down in his first inning of work today.
And he's settling in a big way. 4-pitch walk to start, and he's looked so sharp against two guys who are really tough outs in Advincula and West. Just spotting his pitches well. That high fastball is playing well against those two.
Ryan Farber, who holds the Kettleers' only RBI of the day, up to bat. First pitch swinging. This is hit sky high in shallow left field. Coming in and making the catch is Newstrom. After a leadoff walk, Coates able to retire the next 3 batters he faces. This will stay a 1-1 ball game as we head to the top of the 6th here at Lowell Park.
New has been such a tough out all summer, and he's been pretty quiet at the plate today. Fly out and a ground out, so we'll see if Wyatt Halverson can keep it that way.
First pitch swinging is New, down in the count 0-1. Like you mentioned, 0 for 2 today, Connor. He went 2 for 4 yesterday, also able to work a walk. Looking to get on base for the first time here today. Halverson came into this ball game in the top of the 4th with 2 on, none out, and only needed 2 pitches to get out of the inning. This ball is blasted towards left field, back at the wall and gone. How about that from New? You knew it was bound to happen, that first base hit, and it was a home run that extends Falmouth's lead. They're up 2-1.
I shouldn't have said that he had a quiet day. I think that just threw off the mojo a little bit here. But yeah, it's only a matter of time for him. He extends his Cape League homer lead to 6, and he's just been having a summer of a lifetime.
Ken Schmidt will dig in. Tall lefty out of Livingston, New Jersey. Falmouth this season has been no stranger to the long ball. As a team, the Commodores have hit 16 home runs. That leads the Cape League. Chopper towards first. Fielding it is French, and he'll take it himself. 1 away.
It's a good bounce back coming off the homer from New. Just get a slow chopper to first and get back on your horse if you're Halverson.
Osterhaus will step up to bat. The Alabama commit is already sporting a red sleeve on his front arm. Ball and no strikes now, the count to him. Osterhaus 1 for 2 today. A fly out and a single. Fouled away, 1-1. Falmouth as a team against left-handed pitchers this season, they're hitting .270. As was coming into this game, that was 3rd in the Cape. Only hit 5 home runs. Now versus right-handed pitchers coming into this game, the Commodores were hitting .204, 9th in the Cape. So a significant split between success against lefties and righties. But what really stands out is even with the lower average against right-handed pitchers, the Commodores have hit 10 long balls against righties. Well, now it's 11 after that home run off of Halverson. So while the average might not be there against those righty arms, the power certainly is. 1-2, just a bit outside. Count will even at 2 apiece.
And that's what the Commodores are all about, the long ball. We saw it with Malika New hitting that homer there. They got 16 to lead the Cape, 3 above the next team, YD. They just leave the yard so consistently.
Smack towards center field, staying up long enough for Bogenpol to come in and make the catch. Bogenpol can cover a lot of ground quickly out in center. 2 away. Bear Harrison. What a baseball name. We've already talked about it. He's 0 for 2 today. A foul out and a grounded into double play. No one on with 2 away. Top of the 6th inning here at Lowell Park. Harrison on the summer has had a good amount of plate appearances. Came into this game with 40 of them. Swung on and smacked towards left field. Going back is Wiggins, and he'll make the catch a couple steps from the wall. A leadoff home run from New gets the second run on the scoreboard for Falmouth. 3 straight retired, so we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Commodores up 2-1 over the Kettleers on Cape League TV. On the summer as well. 2-2. We'll do it again. Full count on Bogenpole. Caden already with 5 walks. This is just his 3rd game with the Kets. Payoff pitch. Coates has been relying on some heat here with Bogenpole, seeing what he'll go with here. Count is still 3-2. Lengthy pause. Now the pitch. Bogenpole takes. Walk number 6 on the summer.
Just getting on base at a great clip. Bogenpole doing what he does best. It's homer or walk. And he's been walking a lot.
We've used the term a 3 true outcome type of player for Bogenpole. A strikeout, a walk, or a home run. In his first game with the Kettleers, we saw all 3. Now here today, we've seen 2 out of the 3. Only one we're missing is a home run from Bogey. First pitch, a strike to Andrew Wiggins. 0 for 2 with a pair of punch-outs. He's up to 16 strikeouts on the season, but also has 12 walks. He's able to work a lot of counts, able to extend his time at the plate. This ball is laced on a line to center field, sinking down for a base hit. Wiggins and Bogenpol reach back-to-back for their first times on base today, and now the Kettleers have 2 on with no out.
And we were talking about how they had been struggling earlier in this day, each of them with a pair of strikeouts. Bogenpol walks, sets the table for Wiggins, gets on with a base hit. So those guys at the middle of the order are starting to produce again in this one, and sets the table for Johnson, who's walked each time up.
Johnson has had some big league takes today. His eye at the plate has been astounding. Here against Falmouth. Showing bunt, pops it up, and it's foul. Into the dugout, and it's caught by a Kettleer in the dugout. Looked to be either Jack Natilli or Nolan Stevens.
I want to say that Stevens. Natilli's on deck right now, and Stevens was holding the bat over there in the dugout, got the ball with the other hand.
That you are right. Tip of the cap to Stevens in the dugout. 0-1 the count on Johnson. Back pick to second. It's close, and it's in time. Bogenpol caught a little too far from home, and the Commodores make him pay.
The Kettleers have been really aggressive on the bases this summer, and I think it's yielded mixed results, and we saw it right there. Some really big leads, especially off of second, a lot this summer, and we've seen guys get in trouble in no man's land out there, and that's what happened with Bogenpol.
Back-to-back pickoff attempts. That one unsuccessful to first. Count still 0-1 on Johnson. Got to talk with him pregame for the pregame show. Very charismatic man. He takes slow, count even at 1 apiece. Get to see another side of these ball players outside of the diamond. Johnson speaking highly of what there is to do up here on the East Coast. Back pick to first, not in time. He spent a lot of time in Kansas, played his college ball at Wichita State, played in the Jayhawk League, a summer league in Kansas. He's been able to see a whole new side of the country here on Cape.
Hit .333 with Hutchinson in the Jayhawk League last summer. 21 stolen bags. He didn't get cut once.
1-1. Able to get a piece of it ever so slightly.
Safe to say he tore it up there.
Played well in the Jayhawk League. Excited to be here on Cape. Try some new food. He mentioned he's tried a lobster roll. Jury's still up for debate on how he thinks of it. 1-2. Wiggins goes, swung on and grounded down the third base line, and home plate umpire Jake Brichta saying foul ball. Wow. It was hugging the line until third base.
I got to tell you, Chris, I thought that one bounced over the base and not to the left of it. It looked clear from here. I don't want to speak too rashly, but that looked like a fair ball.
Lauren Hibbs is making his opinions heard. The most animated we've heard Coach Hibbs all summer, and he's had a couple of good reasons to get out of the dugout. Count is 1-2 with 1 away. Runner on first. Coates is dealing to Camden Johnson. The pitch, runner goes. Swung on and fouled away. Count will stay at 1-2. Healthy crowd still on hand here at Lowell Park. Plenty of 4th of July festivities planned. Such a fun time on Cape unless you're trying to drive here. 1-2. Ground ball right side. Fielded by Arroyo. Throw to second. In time, the relay to first won't happen. 2 away. Up will step Jack Natilli, the only true right-handed hitter in this Cotuit lineup today. 4-6 on the putout. Johnson safe at first. Natilli today 1 for 2. He singled in his first plate appearance. The backstop for Cotuit digs in. The first pitch to him. Breaking ball inside. Couldn't quite spin it in enough. Did Coates. Count is 1-0. Sun continuing to set. Shadows have crept across the infield here at Lowell Park. 2-0.
I think it's safe to say it's getting dark quickly here in Cotuit.
I think we've passed the, what is it, summer equinox when the sun's highest, or sun's out the longest?
Summer solstice.
Summer solstice. Yeah, we're on the downturn. Coates has been favoring that pickoff attempt to first. He's keeping Johnson close, who is second on the Kettleers in steals this summer. He sits at 7, Jaron Avincula at 9. Runner goes. It's a strike. Throw down to second. Not in time. Johnson with stolen base, number 8 on the summer. He's in scoring position for Natilli. The Kettleers, for lack of a better term, have struggled with runners in scoring position. They're hitting 157 as a team. That's 10th in the Cape League. But some recent success has been a bright spot. 2-1. Ground ball towards third. Fielded by Osterhaus. In time to retire Natilli. Coates and company able to work out of some trouble. Still a 2-1 ball game. We'll head to the 7th. But before we take a break, we'll kick it down to the third member of our team, Brooke Kilgore.
Guys, you're not seeing double out there on the field. The Falmouth Commodores actually sport 2 Schmidts in their lineup tonight. Kent and Carl Schmidt may not be brothers, but they actually share a various amount of accolades, especially sharing the infield for the Falmouth Commodores. Kent, the first baseman out of Georgia Tech, is coming out of a 10-hit, 2-home-run season with the Yellow Jackets. Carl, playing short, finishes his redshirt freshman season at Cal with a .286 average, 5 home runs, which one of them flew directly over his scoreboard image in the ACC Championship in May. Outside of being ACC foes, the two will share another storyline. Come February 2026, both Schmidts will have played with Cotuit second baseman Jaron Avincula. The former Golden Bear heads to the Peach State following his transfer commitment earlier this week. Chris and Connor, back to you.
Thank you, Brooke. We'll take a quick break here on Cape League TV. All summer.
He has some of the most innings out of the bullpen this year for the Kettleers, and this is going to be his longest appearance given that he gets through the full inning. He's through 10 2/3 in 5 appearances, 169 earned run average, 10 strikeouts for the rising junior right-hander. He's been a real restoring force, especially in the middle innings for the Kets.
Halverson has thrown 3 innings of 1-run baseball. The only blemish, a solo shot off the bat of New. Ground ball, Johnson plays it. It's fair. Throw across the diamond. In time, 1 away. Ben Roya retired. It'll be Chris Newstrom up. Carl Schmidt on deck.
Hard throw from third as well. Camden Johnson has really impressed over there at the hot corner. Able to throw out a quick run down first base line time and time again. Probably one of the better arms on the whole team, and that's why you can stick him in left field as well.
Johnson puts a lot of pep on the ball when he throws it over to first. Allows him to take some sweet time gathering that baseball. Chris Newstrom up for the Commodores. He is 1 for 1 today. A single. He's been walked as well. Has not been brought home to score. Count even at 1. 2-1 ball game. It's been low scoring. It's been some quick innings worked from both pitching staffs. Falmouth scored 1 in the first, 1 in the top of the 6th. Strike 2 on Newstrom. Cotuit has been held scoreless in every frame but the bottom of the 3rd, where an RBI single from Ryan Farber was able to tie the game at 1. 1-2. And that ball sails over the netting behind home plate. Oh man. Just a bit outside. Holy Toledo.
Good reference on the just a bit outside. Shout out to Bob Euchre.
That ball, may Mr. Baseball rested in peace, Bob Euchre. That baseball landed in the parking lot. Jeez Louise, 2-2, 1 away. The pitch. Fouled away, count will stay at 2-2. The PA announcer normally reserving the statement, all the foul balls are yours to keep for those foul balls. Did mention it after Halverson's thrown to the parking lot. 2-2, ground ball left side. It's fouled just by about a step. Tall clouds out in right field up above the trees at Lowell Park. Sun tucked behind some high clouds. Behind us to our lefts. Beautiful, beautiful night. 2-2. Spiked in there. Count full. Quiet evening here. 2 red-hot teams offensively still battling. Ground ball up the middle. Farber fielding. Throw to first. Retires Newstrom. 2 up, 2 down. Lineup card flips. Carl Schmidt, the designated hitter, the leadoff man for Falmouth. He is 1 for 3 today. Singled in the first, came around to score. Off an E4, was not an earned run charged towards the Kettleers starting pitcher, Kenton Deverman. Takes inside. The Falmouth dugout claiming that it hit him. Plenty of kind words being shared to Jake Brichta behind the dish today.
He's been getting an earful.
To his left and to his right. You can never win as an umpire. 2-0. Just a bit low. Schmidt with a home run yesterday. Looking for some more pop here today. 3-0 pitch. It just a bit inside. Couldn't find the zone with the get me over fastball. It's a 4-pitch walk issued to Carl Schmidt. Antonio Morales, the left-handed hitter, will step up to face the righty Halverson. Up until that walk, Halverson had retired 5 straight after surrendering that home run to New. Morales is 0 for 3 today, has struck out twice, both of them looking. Halverson with 2 strikeouts already, both of those came back in the 5th. Swung on, soft shot towards Farber at shortstop, and he'll make the catch. Already walking towards the dugout. Score is 2-1, Falmouth ahead of Cotuit. Stretch time here at Lowell Park. We'll take a stretch ourselves when we return. Kettleers do up Stevens, French, and Advincula here on Cape League TV. Just wrapped up the 7th inning stretch. A nice honky-tonk Western rendition played here at Lowell Park. Kettleers fans getting excited in between innings, hoping to spur on a comeback from the Kets. They trail the Commodores 2-1. First pitch is a strike to Stevens, and he's quickly behind in the count 0-2. Stevens today 0 for 2. Grounded out in the 2nd and grounded into a double play to end the 4th. In fact, both of his plate appearances have been inning enders. This matchup between the Kets and the Doors, an annual one come 4th of July. 1-2. Called strike 3 on the outside edge of the zone. 3rd strikeout of the contest from TJ Coates.
I think Jake Brickta has one of the more low-key called strike 3. Yes, calls, for lack of a better term. He just turns around, no noise, but just a quick pump of the fist, very short, no noise, and hey, here comes Rintaro Sasaki.
Sasaki will pinch hit for Anderson French, and he draws a thunderous applause from the Cotuit fans to our left in the third base grandstands. You can hear from the dugout players saying, J-Boy, that's his walk-up song. Sasaki this summer, 3 hits, 2 home runs and a double. Count even 1-1 to Sasaki here with 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Cotuit down by 1. Advincula is on deck. Rentaro Sasaki will take strike 2.
Saw him homer last night against Hyannis. Sent a shot out towards the scoreboard in right center there at McKeon Park.
TJ Coates shakes a sign. Has one he likes. 1-2. Breaking ball inside. Count even at 2 apiece.
I say I'm a fan of the adjustment Sasaki has made in his swing and in his windup.
Popped up. Shallow right field. Osterhaus will make the catch. A step into the outfield grass. Sasaki retired from TJ Coates. Advincula up now for Cotuit. Advincula today 0 for 2. A walk sandwiched by strikeouts. The former contact king of the Cape looking for his first hit. Ground ball, first base side. It's foul. Skipped just to the right of the first base bag. Advincula yesterday 2 for 3. He scored 2 runs. He also drove in a run. Just the 2nd RBI of the season for Jaron. Ground ball up the middle. Played by Arroyo. And he'll throw nonchalant to first. Advincula is out and he takes a tumble past first base. Cotuit staff will make sure he's okay. That will end the 7th inning as Advincula stands up. We'll head to the top of the 8th. Falmouth up 2-1 over the Kettleers. Top of 8, new arm out on the mound for the Kettleers, replacing Wyatt Halverson. Charlie Walker, who has been a solid arm out of the bullpen for the Kettleers this season.
He's been incredible 3 ERA so far and a handful of appearances. Had a really nice outing against Brewster last time. 1 2/3. Struck out 4. Only allowed 1 base runner. Probably the best he's looked all summer.
This will be appearance number 6 for Walker. First pitch swinging. It's a soft ground ball up the middle past Farber. It's a leadoff single for Adrian Lopez. That's his first hit of the ball game. Up will step Mike Anu. Ken Schmidt is on deck. New in his last plate appearance with a lot of bombast, hit a solo shot out to left field. A mammoth shot. Just his first hit of the ball game. Now with a runner on first, no out, top of the 8th. Walker stares down New. A first pitch strike catches the outside part of the zone. New leads the Cape in home runs. He's now at 6. Has been hitting well out on Cape. He came into this game with 7 extra base hits. He now stands at 8. Now my math is wrong. He's now at 9. Just 1 off. 1-1. Popped up. He'll be in foul territory. Giving chase is Johnson. He's hustling, and he can't make the catch. Tried to catch it basket style. Couldn't quite get there.
It's a great effort, but just a touch out of room in left field foul territory. He had to make a long run to get there, even to make it close.
New with those 9 extra base hits now, he's slugging comfortably above 650, creeping up on slugging 700 on the season. 1-2. Just a bit upstairs. Charlie Walker took about 3 steps towards home plate, thinking it was a strikeout, getting ready to celebrate. Count will be 2-2. Walker checks the runner on first. Now he's ready. Same breaking ball. That pitch swung on and fouled back.
Think maybe New thought that was going to get called a strike the next time around. It was almost the same spot, upper corner. This time he took a big whiff at it.
Walker, 8 strikeouts, only 2 walks. He has good control. Here's his 2-2. Runner goes, swung on ground ball to Johnson. He'll glove and throw to first. Advancing to second safely is Adrian Lopez.
The hit and run still successful even with the out. Lopez got enough of a jump to where Johnson couldn't go to second, so they could double up the runners. So strong baseball play, really the best you're going to get with an out there.
Able to make Johnson's quick release a non-factor as he could only go to first. Kent Schmidt is up. Lopez still dancing at second. Schmidt is 1 for 3 today. He's reached base twice, once via an error. That was in the first. Singled again in the 4th. 2-0 the count on Schmidt. A lot of crowds still here. It's a fun matchup. We were beginning to mention this is a yearly tradition out on Cape. The Kets and the Commodores meeting July 3rd and 4th. The 2 teams will play a home-and-home series. It alternates every year who hosts on the 4th. This year it's Falmouth, so the Commodores come to Lowell Park the day beforehand. And then tomorrow we'll see the Kets ship on down to Falmouth. 3-1 now the count on Kent Schmidt. Lopez having some conversation with the Kettleers shortstop, Ryan Farber. 3-1. Swung on and skied out towards right field. Stevens hasn't measured. He's got a cannon out there. He makes the catch. Tagging from second is Lopez. Throw to third. Not in time. Lopez able to beat it out by about a step.
Johnson did a good job to try and deke that runner. Just stood there idly as if the throw was going to come in slowly. And you could see Lopez slow down just a half step coming into third, and the throw almost got there. It was a really good, I guess, meeting of the minds between the right fielder Stevens and the third baseman Johnson, but Lopez just too much room to get to third.
First pitch ball to Justin Osterhaus. 2 away here in the away half of the 8th inning. Falmouth's third run of the ball game stands 90 feet away. 1-0. Ground ball towards Sasaki at first. It's fouled. Falmouth sitting at 7-7-1. That's second in the West. Trying to close the gap between Hyannis, who sits at first. Cotuit trying to break this tie with Bourne towards the bottom of the division. 1-1. Ripped foul. Sun continuing to set. The only light we can really see in the sky is some high clouds illuminated in right field. Sky's beginning to darken. 1-1. Off the end of the bat, fouled down the third base line. Count will stay at 1-2. .7:20 local time. 2 hours and 20 minutes past first pitch. Just off Main Street in Cotuit. 4th of July festivities beginning. 1-2 pitch. On a line towards Advincula. Fields it on a hop. Throws from his backside to first. Jared Advincula dazzling at second base. 4-3 on the putout. Falmouth strands a runner at third. We'll head to the home half of the 8th. Cotuit still trailing by 1 on Cape League TV. Home half of the 8th. Cotuit needing to get a run to even up with the Commodores of Falmouth. Sun continuing to set. Darkness approaching quickly here at Lowell Park. Time winding down for the Kettleers. It was West, Ryan Farber and Caden Bogenpole taking on TJ Coates, who has been spectacular out of the bullpen for the Commodores. He is now out for his 4th inning of work.
Threw 47 pitches in 3 innings. They're going to trust him with a 4th inning. So started a little at school and has a couple starts this summer, so I can see why they're giving him the length.
For the Commodores to only need 2 arms so far throughout this one. Good for the bullpen for the rest of this week. It's a busy time here on Cape. The Kettleers in the midst of 6 games in 6 days. This is game 3 of that series, you could call it. 1-2. Just a bit outside, 2-2. Dean West is 1 for 3 today. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. One away. Up will step Ryan Farber. Farber today also 1 for 3. His lone hit brought in the Kettleers' only run. That was in the home half of the 3rd. Middle infield playing deep for Farber. Third base is tucked in. First pitch strike. Farber with a pause. He's ready. Farber doesn't fully jump on what you'll call those extra base hits. He's had a double this season. In fact, well, he's had 3, but he primarily will leg out a lot of singles. 16 hits. Only 3 doubles. Sky high towards right field. Back at the wall. Morales leaps, and it's gone! A game-tying solo shot from Ryan Farber. How about that for an extra base hit, 33?
It's been all doubles for him all season, but, you know, no better time than now to let that home run power loose. Shot one to the sky and right, and it was a play at the wall. Morales just couldn't quite get up there. So 2-2, and this just got real interesting.
Bogenpole up. He has a home run this season. That one was to straightaway center. Able to smack one towards the big boy part of the ballpark. That was Farber's first home run of the summer. He's brought in both runs today for Cotuit. Count is 2-1 on Bogenpole, who is 0 for 2 today. He walked in his last plate appearance. He was picked off at second base. 2-2 on Bogenpole. The Kettleers dugout does not like that. 2-2. Ground ball towards first base. Schmidt has it, but he bobbled it. The toss to first, barely in time to beat out Bogenpole. Had him by about a half step. 3-1 on the putout. Up will step Andrew Wiggins, who had a long ball yesterday. There are some early fireworks here at Lowell Park. Strike one to Wiggins. Wiggins is 1 for 3 today. He singled in his last plate appearance. 1-1. Fly ball, left center field. Ranging to his right is New. He'll camp and make the catch. Wiggins retired. Farber with a solo shot. Ties this game at 2 apiece. We're going to take a break here. 9th inning coming up here at Lowell Park. This is Cape League Baseball. And we're going to kick it to the third member of our team, Brooke Kilgore. Brooke.
Guys, I'm right next to the dugout following Ryan Farber. Absolute smash to the outfield. Nothing but excitement from his teammates, cheering and sending him in with absolute momentum and congratulations. These are hot is what they're saying right here. Nothing different about it. Chris and Connor, back to you.
We'll take a break. 9th inning coming up here on Cape League TV. Charlie Walker, the Milton, Massachusetts native, plays his college ball locally in Northeastern. Out on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. Looking to keep this one tied up. First pitch is a strike to Bear Harrison. It will be 7, 8, and 9 due up for the visiting Falmouth Commodores. Harrison, Royo, and Newstrom. The 0-1. Check swing. He didn't go around. Count even at 1 apiece. It's been back and forth all night long. Falmouth took an early lead. Cotuit answered. Falmouth got 2. Ketts answered right back. Flared into right field. Coming in is Stevens, and he makes the catch. Shoulder high. 1 away, up steps Ben Royo, who is 1 for 3 on the day. He singled in his first plate appearance. Back-to-back groundouts. Sums up the rest of his night. Infield shaded to their rights. Royo, Newstrom, and should either of them get on base, Carl Schmidt would come up. All 3 are right-handed hitters.
Housekeeping tip here on the field. Case Sanderson replaces Rintaro Sasaki at first.
Sasaki pinch hit for French. 2-0. Called a strike. Called time by Ben Royo. He'll take a breath outside of the batter's box. Like to remind you, this broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. 2-1, 1 out. Swung on and popped up. Foul and out of play over our press box. Walker dealing to Royo. The 2-2. Just a bit inside. Walker looking for strikeout number 9 on the season. He's only walked 2. Payoff pitch on its way. Low and in the dirt. Royo works a 1-out walk. Up will step a very dangerous 9-hole hitter in Chris Newstrom. Tim O'Connor will walk out to the mound to talk with Charlie Walker. Infield will come in. It will be the end of the line for Charlie Walker. The runner on first base, Royo, is his. We'll take a break and tell you about the new arm for Cotuit when we return here on Cape League TV. San Jose State. This will be his 6th appearance. He already has 2 saves.
And he's going to look to continue the performance he had last time out. Went 6 up, 6 down to secure a game a couple of games ago. I think it was against Brewster in their first win against them. So he hasn't gotten the ball in a while, actually, when you really think about it. That was almost a week ago.
There's a runner on first in the form of Ben Royo. Newstrom is up to bat. The first pitch from Albanese is a strike.
Actually, he went 6 up, 6 down against Bourne. Let me correct myself. That was the home win they had maybe 5 or 6 days ago.
0-1. 0-2. Talked how it's a bit of a continuous lineup card for Falmouth today. Newstrom, the 9-hole hitter, had a home run yesterday. He has been having a solid summer so far. Down in this count, 0-2. Albanese delivers. And it catches a piece of Chris Newstrom. Albanese up in the count, 0-2. Just went a bit too high and tight on that pitch. 2 on, 1 out. The lineup card now flipped. Plenty of lethal bats in this Commodore lineup. Carl Schmidt is one of them. Schmidt is at the heels of New for leading the team in hits. He trails New by 1. He has 16 hits on the summer. 2 on, 1 out. Runner goes to third. Throw down to third is in time. Jack Natilli with a seed down to third base. That retires the lead runner. 2 away.
Just hosed him at third. And how about the pop time out of these Kettleers catchers? We saw Anderson French get out of his seat real quick for one yesterday at second base, and now Jack Natilli does him one better, firing around the right-handed batter to get a runner at third.
1-0 the count. 2 outs, runner on first, the pitch. Count now even at 1-1. Schmidt today, 1 for 3. He's also been walked. His single in the first, he came around to score the first run of the ball game. We're tied up at 2 here. The 1-1. Chopper towards third. Johnson, gloved, gripped, gun to first, in time. Albany's able to end the inning. We'll head to the home half of the 9th. The Kettleers looking for some early 4th of July magic here at Lowell Park. This is Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV. Night falling fast. July 3rd. A fun time here on Cape. There will be fireworks tomorrow for sure, but the Kettleers are trying to get the party started early here tonight. It's a tied game, 2-2. The Kets answered with a run in the home half of the 8th. There was a home run from Ryan Farber. It will be Camden Johnson, Jack Natilli, and Nolan Stevens up for the Kettleers this inning. Count is 0-1 on Johnson. Ground ball towards first base. Gloved by Schmidt. He'll take it himself, 1 away.
And how about TJ Coates coming out for his 5th inning of relief in for Caden Eckerman, and he's done a great job. Only 1 run allowed, 4 base runners through 4 1/3 complete. He has just been spectacular and did allow the long ball to Ryan Farber, but other than that, he's been good.
Natilli up. First pitch swinging. Natilli is 1 for 3 today. He singled and then flew out and ground out. Swung on off the end of the bat, shot towards right field. Breaking to his left and making the catch is Morales. 2 away. Up will step Nolan Stevens. Typically, when the game's tied, we'd play an extra inning. Using my own discernment, I don't think there's enough light for an extra inning. We're not down on the field, so we can't hear the decision. Lowell Park does not have lights, so this game ends when you can't see the baseball. And boy, are we getting close. 2 away. Stevens takes a first pitch ball. On deck is Case Sanderson, who replaced Rintaro Sasaki. Stevens takes again, in and at the hands, 2-0. 2 away, bottom of the 9th in this tied ball game. The pitch from Coates. And it catches a piece of Stevens. Tying run aboard, the winning run aboard for the Kettleers. Sanderson. Pinch hitting for the Kets here in the 9th. We think back all the way to Cotuit's first win of the season. That was an extra inning winner over Wareham. The man responsible for that, Case Sanderson. He'll take a first pitch ball.
And he's had some important hits this season. He had the hit that got Cotuit their last run against Brewster last time they played them, and of course that walk-off single.
Line drive up the middle, base hit. Stevens heading for third. He'll be in there standing. Sanderson stays put at first. 2 on, 2 out. Advincula up to bat. Jaron Advincula, last summer's contact king of the Cape. He is hitless today. Came into this game batting .314. He led the Kettleers in hits. There will be a meeting on the mound. Saltalamacchia himself heading out there. There will be a new pitcher for the Commodores to deliver to Jaron Advincula. 2 on, 2 out. We'll take a break here on Cape League TV. New pitcher on the mound. It's a lefty, Zach Johnston.
We saw him warming way earlier in this game for Caden Eckerman in, I think, the 3rd inning. And he was sat back down in favor of TJ Coates, who went 4 2/3 with 1-run ball. His line's not over, though. He allowed the 2 runners on. But Johnston, 21 appearances at Wake Forest this past year. He hasn't allowed a run in 3 appearances with Falmouth.
The first pitch to Advincula, he takes strike 1. Advincula 0 for 3 today, has a walk. His 2nd summer with the Kettleers. 0-1 pitch. Advincula check swing. He didn't go around. Count now 1-1. Winning run 90 feet away for the Kettleers. Night falling fast here at Lowell Park. There won't be a 10th inning played. It's now or never for Cotuit. Advincula takes again, low and away, 2-1. Ketts fans with applause cheering on Advincula. 2-1. Tapper off the end of the bat towards third. Throw to first, not in time! A walk-off winner in Lowell Park. Early fireworks.
And Jaron Advincula doing it the way Jaron Advincula knows how to. Just punch it down the third base line and run as hard as you can out of that box into first. He was there well in time from that throw from Osterhaus, and Stevens came home. Just what a way to get this one down. It was now or never, no 10th inning. You needed a hit to get through this one, and the Ketts, 3 in a row. Look at that.
Kettleers with wins over YD, first in the East, first overall in the Cape. Win over Hyannis, first in the West, and now a win over Falmouth, second in the West. Cotuit slaying Goliaths one at a time. The Kettleers, 3 straight wins. Jaron Advincula, the former contact king of the Cape, plays hero tonight. An RBI single with 2 outs in the 9th. Cotuit wins, final score 3-2.
Just an incredible ending. Tyler Albanese gets the win. He came in and shut the door in the top half of the 9th after Charlie Walker scuffled a little bit, and then 2-out magic for the Kettleers. A ground out and a fly out to start. Then Nolan Stevens got tagged on the foot. Case Sanderson came in and he remained clutch. Hard single up the middle, and then it was all up to Jaron Advincula, the man who some are thinking of as Mr. Cotuit, coming in and delivering in a big moment. It's what he's made for, and it's what makes him such a great player.
It was a 2-hour and 48-minute game. Packed house here at Lowell Park. Well into quadruple digits. Again, your final score, Cotuit 3, Falmouth 2, and Connor, perhaps the most important number of the night, 3. That is 3 wins in a row for the Kettleers. Don't let the Ketts get hot.
You can't. They are screaming up the West Division standings, and with that, they've overtaken Bourne, and not to mention, they just might overtake Wareham depending on how they do tonight. They're tied up 4-4 with Bourne, actually. I don't think we mentioned that all game. That is really important for Cape League standings right here.
The third member of our team, Brooke Kilgore, is standing by with the hero of tonight, Jaron Advincula. Let's hear from the man of the hour.
Brooke Kilgore here following an incredible 3-2 walk-off run from the Cotuit Kettleers, and the man who does it all, Jaron Advincula, second baseman. Jaron, really quickly, I just want you to walk me through that initial at-bat.
I just had to stay on a curveball or slider or whatever it was, and I knew you threw a hard heater, so I got him up, and luckily it kind of end-capped it. But, we'll take it in, we'll take a win. What was that feeling, running to first base, turning around and seeing Nolan Stevens make it home? Well, I knew it was a hit, but I was like, oh, shoot, I think he's going to throw it home. And but thank you for Stevens for being a little good at base runner, so I appreciate it. That's great. Just talk a little bit about this team's resiliency. You guys were down 2-1 for the majority of that game, and then Ryan Farber sends it yard, and then you come in and complete. Farber's been a dog all year, and, Cam and Stevens and Wiggins have been a huge help for us. And so, it's all of them, and then luckily I came up in the right spot, so. Thank you so much, Jaron. That has been our time. Back up to you guys in the box.
Thank you so much to Brooke Kilgore standing by with Jaron Advincula. So much stuff to smile about if you're a Cotuit Kettleers fan. Now we're in the Cotuit Kettleers post-game show. Again, I'm Chris Albright, joined alongside Connor Shue. That was the third member of our team, Brooke Kilgore. Special thank you to our producers and directors, Sorka Lewis and Riley Lewis. Connor, just talking about this game, I mean, it was another good all-around game. Starting pitching was there. Deverman able to work 3 innings. Did allow a run. It wasn't earned, but I mean, it starts at the top, and he did solid.
He really did. Limited the base runners. Did allow 5 hits, but caught a couple on the base pass throughout that and only walked 1 batter, as is the norm for Kenton Deverman. And working through traffic is really his MO. Those hits, sometimes they will come, but he always knows how to get through.
We're talking to Ryan Farber now. Brooke Kilgore standing alongside with him. Let's hear from Brooke and Ryan.
All right. Thanks, guys. Welcome back to the On Deck Circle post-game here. The Cotuit Kettleers take it in walk-off hit 3-2 against the Falmouth Commodores. I'm here with a guy who hit his first home run of the season. We're basically quadrupling our home run total in just 2 games. Ryan Farber, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Really glad to get the win.
Definitely. Tell me a little bit about that home run hit that you had. Just walk me through the at-bat, everything that happened with it.
Yeah, I think you're just trying to look for a pitch over the middle of the plate that you can do damage with, and thankfully I got one and was able to put a good swing on it.
Definitely. I was listening in a little bit before Jaron's walk-off hit there, and you were saying, we're going to get this win. We're going to get this win. How did you know that your team was going to do that tonight?
Yeah, I mean, when you got runners on first and third and 2 outs and Jaron Advincula to the plate, I mean, your odds are in your favor no matter what. So knew he was going to get it done.
All right, that's been our time with Ryan Farber. Back up to you guys.
Back here with the post-game show up in the booth. I mean, we've been talking about Deverman. We've talked with Advincula. We've talked with Farber. It's just been such a phenomenal team effort over the past 3 or so games. I mean, even stretching back, looking all the way back, June 24th, Cotuit at Brewster. If you could point at a single spot and say that's where the season turned around, that's where it did for Cotuit. And since then, it's been team baseball. It's been all around team efforts. Everyone is contributing.
And I think so. That's what really set the tone. Like you said, they beat, at the time, the best team in the East Division, Brewster, and then they came around and scuffled a little bit against Chatham YD, and then they got that big win at home against Bourne. A close one, had those 6 runs in the first 2 innings. And then the wins against YD and Hyannis really put them a little higher on that totem pole as a team to really fear on Cape. And now you have a comeback victory against Falmouth, another team high up in the standings in the Eastern Division. The Kets get win number 3 in a row, and that whole run, it started with that good start by James Hayes at Brewster. Went 4 2/3 with 7 strikeouts, and the bats were hot that day. Everything seemed to be working. That's when the extra base hits started coming for the Kettleers, and we've seen that in droves. And I think capitalizing on that was that home run off the bat of Ryan Farber, clutch in the 8th inning. Because, granted, Chris, I think the offense, it felt a little dead in the water for the middle half of the ball game. It just felt like the Kets were scuffling, a lot of strikeouts. Not much was going well at the plate, but you give the bat off to Ryan Farber with 1 down in the top of the 8th. Or in the bottom half, and he just socked one out to right field, and you could kind of feel the energy shift after that homer, and you could see it. Bottom of the 9th, Charlie Walker and Tyler Albanese did their jobs and gave the Kettleers the bat with a tie ball game, and they were down against the wall. 2 outs, no one on to start the inning. Then Nolan Stevens gets on, gets hit by a pitch. And Case Sanderson, clutch as always. He had the walk-off single like we talked about in the first win against Wareham. And then Jaron Advincula. I think you could call him one of the leaders of this team on the field. Smacked one up the third base line, and him and his speed was well enough to get to first in time, and Nolan Stevens got a good jump home. So it created conflict for Osterhaus, the third baseman. Am I going to go throw home, or am I going to go to first? He went to first, and the throw was nowhere near in time. Jared Advincula did a great job of hustling that one out, as did Stevens to home.
So many great moments in the past 3 or so games for Cotuit. You look at what the Kets have done. They are now 5-2-1 in the last 8 games. 5-2-1. That's a total of 11 points. As it stands right now, granted, other games will continue to finish up as this night goes on. Cotuit is now 3rd in the Cape Cod West Division, surpassing Wareham and Bourne. Both of those teams are playing right now. Take another look around the scoreboard for the Cape League. Again, this is the only game final. Hyannis taking on YD. They're tied 2 apiece. That's in the bottom of the 7th. Wareham facing off against Bourne. The Gatemen up 5-4 over the Bravos. That's in the top of the 6th. It's currently in a delay right now. Harwich and Brewster knotted up at 3 apiece in the top of the 5th. And Orleans leads Chatham 2-0. They're in the bottom of the 3rd. So Kettleers fans keeping an eye on that Wareham-Bourne game.
It's a really big one in the Eastern Division standings. I think if you're in this situation, you probably, well, honestly, you look at that and if Wareham wins, they tie with Cotuit in the standings. If Bourne wins, they tie with Cotuit in the standings. So I don't really know if there's a favorable situation there, but I think you're looking to Bourne to get that win because I think Cotuit has managed Bourne better so far. Of course, they've only seen Wareham once, and they did beat them in a walk-off fashion, but that was a tough game for everybody at the plate. The hits just weren't coming, and there were no runs scored until the extra innings that day. It was a very unique baseball game, but so far what Bourne has shown compared to Wareham, I think you're wanting Bourne in that spot. But again, if the Kettleers just play like they played tonight, the night before, and the night before that, it might not matter going down in the standings.
You don't need to worry about other teams right now if you're Cotuit because you're doing a great job controlling your own destiny, playing your games the way you want to. This style of Kettleers baseball has been so fun to watch. Again, a 3-2 victory today. Connor, any final thoughts about this one?
I think I want to just go back to middle relief. We haven't talked about him yet in the postgame, but Wyatt Halverson, I think an unsung hero of this ball game. He went 4 innings complete out of the pen, only allowed 1 run on 1 hit, 3 base runners all around, struck out 2, and he did a great job of keeping this game close throughout his time out of there. They took Deverman out pretty early, so you got to go to that bullpen a little earlier than you'd like to if you're Lauren Hibbs. And Halverson came in and just did a job like he has all season. Now he owns the most innings out of any Kettleer this summer and really exemplifies how much of a workhorse he's been out of the pen. So tip of the cap to Wyatt Halverson for holding this game together.
Some great relief work from Cotuit today. Another solid outing by a starting pitcher in the form of Kenton Deverman. And while the bats weren't on fire all night, the takeaway is they were on fire when it mattered most. Cotuit scored in the bottom of the 8th and the bottom of the 9th. Ryan Farber, a solo shot. Jaron Avincula, a RBI single. Some great base running from Nolan Stevens. Overall, just another great team performance. Tomorrow, it's 4th of July, the second matchup of this little series against Falmouth. The Kets will travel all the way a little bit up Cape down to Falmouth, where they'll take on the Commodores. That game will be at 5 o'clock local time. We encourage you, before you throw on some hot dogs and hamburgers to the grill and watch some fireworks, to join us on Cape League TV, YouTube, or Twitter, Kettleers Digital Network. From Lowell Park, saying good night for Sorka Lewis, Riley Lewis, Brooke Kilgore, and Connor Shue. I'm Chris Albright, where the Cotuit Kettleers beat the Falmouth Commodores 3-2. This is Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV. Good night.